Hello there, and welcome back to Sleepy Tales by John, where bedtime stories about the universe accompany you each night. Here, you can slow your breathing, soften your thoughts, and drift into sleep as the night gently settles around you. Somehow, by a small miracle, you found your way here tonight, and I'm truly glad you did. Tonight, we'll journey deep into the hearts of the stars, into the glowing souls that keep the universe shining through endless darkness. From afar, they look like tiny dots resting quietly in the sky, but as you move closer, you'll realize they are anything but small. Some stars are so enormous they could wrap our entire solar system in their vast, fiery embrace. Others have aged, collapsed, and become tiny remnants spinning hundreds of times each second, as if their final urgent heartbeats are still trying to declare their existence in the vast night. And in the midst of all that grandeur, there is something tender, something perhaps no one has told you before. Everything that makes you you. The warmth on your skin, the breath in your chest, the blood quietly nourishing your body, once belonged to ancient stars. The carbon in every cell, the oxygen you inhale, the iron flowing in your veins. All of it was forged in cosmic furnaces, carried across billions of years, until finally forming the shape you inhabit right now. When we look up at the night sky, we are truly looking into the past. The light touching your eyes tonight may have left its star thousands, even millions of years ago. Some of those stars may no longer exist. Only their final light remains, crossing the darkness to greet you. And if these gentle journeys begin to soften your mind, you can like, subscribe, or share your feelings in the comments. But right now, you don't need to do anything at all. Just lie back, breathe slowly, loosen your shoulders, and let the doorway of dreams begin to open. When you're ready, we'll continue together. The first door of tonight's journey quietly swings open. It leads you to the place where the universe's largest, brightest, most sacred flames beat with their own pulse. The giant stars, the suns of the sky. Imagine yourself standing on a dark field, where the night sky is painted by enormous spheres of fire, each one glowing with a breath so deep it ripples across the heavens. Every time they inhale, the sky blushes a deep red, like an ancient forge releasing warm breath into the void. And every time they exhale, their light melts into a thin, drifting mist, gliding through space like a whispered secret. Giant stars are so enormous that our imagination can hardly keep up. Some of them, if placed where our sun is now, would stretch far beyond Earth, beyond Mars, all the way to the distant edges of the solar system. Imagine standing at the rim of such a star. You wouldn't see a sky anymore. Only an endless sea of crimson light, so vast it seems to have no boundary. Everywhere you look, there is fire. Not a violent, explosive fire, but a slow, living fire, moving with the heartbeat of a colossal being. They appear powerful, unstoppable, impossibly massive, but inside they are fragile in their own way. Their nuclear reactions dance like a tense, delicate choreography. If the balance tips even slightly, the star will swell, soften, and finally dissolve like a petal carried away by wind. That is why people often compare giant stars to ancient hills of fire, majestic, proud, yet always shadowed by their own quiet impermanence. Move closer in your imagination, and you'll see that their light is unlike the daylight we know. This light feels warm, thick, almost tangible, like something you could reach out and touch. Each layer of light ripples outward, like waves from a crimson lake. Except this lake hangs in the sky, and you are just a tiny speck drifting past. The largest stars in the universe, like UV Scuti or VY Canis Majoris, defy all human understanding, and yet their lives are incredibly short. While small stars like our sun survive for tens of billions of years, these giants burn through their fuel in just a few million. They are like artists who blaze in their prime, lighting the entire cosmic stage, then vanish swiftly, leaving behind a silence no one can explain. Near these giants, time feels stretched. Fire moves slower. Light flows more softly. Everything around them glows with shades of red, orange, gold, colors that remind us of warmth, of hearts, of life itself. Standing beside such a star, even in imagination, feels like standing beside a massive living presence. A stranger, yet one that somehow makes you feel protected. And here is something truly magical. These stars are the wombs of all heavy elements in the universe. When you gaze at their immense form, remember that inside those vast flames, the carbon in your body is being forged. The oxygen you breathe, the iron in your blood, even the gold in jewelry and the calcium in your bones. They all begin inside these fiery giants. When a massive star lives long enough and begins to falter, it collapses and explodes. In that moment, all heavy elements scatter into space, drifting through the cosmos to become planets, oceans, breezes, forests, and eventually, you. You might think stars are far away, unreachable. But tonight, in this quiet moment, with your breath slowing, try to feel this. A piece of those fiery hearts lies in your palms, beneath your skin, inside your cells, in the silent vibration of your atoms. Every beat of your heart is a tiny, gentle answer sent back to them. Those colossal suns that lit the path leading you to this very moment. And as that feeling spreads through you, soft as silk, warm as distant starlight, tonight's journey carries you onward to the next stop. A place where light doesn't just shine, but overpowers entire corners of galaxies. A place where cosmic torches erupt so brightly that even darkness seems to step back and bow before them. Imagine yourself standing at the edge of an infinite sea of light. Here, super-luminous stars lift the entire sky with nothing but their radiance. They aren't just faint dots like the stars we see each night. They are the headlights of the universe. Light so powerful it slices through enormous clouds of gas, washing out dust, shadows, everything. Let the sky widen in your imagination. Dense black gas clouds, once still and heavy, now turn transparent. Every grain of dust backs away, just as night withdraws before dawn. At the very center of this glowing tapestry is a star so bright it feels as if it shines with a soul, not just energy. Among these blazing torches is a name the universe remembers: Eta Carinae. A colossal double star, a twin heart of light so intense that it once made an entire galaxy pause and listen. You don't need the numbers. Just picture this. There was a moment in cosmic history when Eta Carinae erupted, so violently that its light raced across thousands of light years, tore through thick curtains of gas, and eventually reached the eyes of human beings on Earth, creatures born millions of years later in an entirely different world. That burst of light was like a star's emotional cry, too powerful to hold inside. A heartbeat released into the void. If you close your eyes and listen with your imagination, you can almost hear it, not as sound, but as light pounding against darkness. One pulse, then another, each pulse rippling outward like waves on a vast celestial lake. These super bright stars are dazzling beyond belief, yet soft and fragile in their own way. The brighter they burn, the shorter they live. They do not shine to survive. They shine because they cannot do anything else. A torch that burns with all its strength, knowing its flame lasts only a brief moment by cosmic standards. But that brevity is what makes them unforgettable, like a lightning flash in the night, brilliant and brief, yet etched forever in the heart. Imagine their light traveling not with the slow pace of earthly things, but with pride, with freedom, a force so bold that darkness naturally parts to let it through. These super-luminous stars raise their radiant torches into the high sky, painting long streaks of gold, red, blue, violet, blending into a symphony of light. And if you lift your hand in your imagination, you might feel their warmth, not burning, but soft, like a gentle touch. There are moments when that light illuminates not just the sky, but the quiet corners of your own mind. It awakens questions you never need to answer. It brings thoughts of existence, of time, of the things you cherish and the things you once lost. Their light touches, not your eyes, but something deeper, something still and quiet within you. A place you sometimes forget is there. Though they are enormous and overpowering, you will feel no fear. Their beauty is tender, the kind only distant things in the universe possess. They do not reach toward you. They simply stand alone, glowing in eternal solitude, inviting you to witness them as if they were lullabies made of light. And if your mind drifts a little farther, you may see yourself floating in open space, surrounded by hundreds of cosmic torches merging together, their beams passing through thin veils of dust like morning mist. Everything becomes soft and transparent. Your body lightens, your breathing steadies. And just as you feel yourself dissolving into that glowing haze, the journey bends, gently like a night wind, because there are still wonders waiting ahead. Things not only bright, but carrying the mysterious heartbeat of the universe in its smallest form. Neutron stars, pulsars, tiny jewels of light spinning so fast that even darkness cannot keep up. And if you're ready, we'll continue into the place where light doesn't just shine, but beats against the night. Right now, I'd like you to keep your breath soft and imagine a massive star, one that has just lived through the most brilliant moments of its short life. When its inner energy can no longer hold up its own incredible weight, the star begins to collapse inward, folding all its light, all its matter, all its soul into a point so small it almost defies belief. Imagine looking at a glowing sphere the size of the sun, and then watching it shrink into a tiny pearl, small enough to fit inside a city, yet so heavy that no language can capture its weight. This is a neutron star. In your imagination, that tiny pearl glows faintly, not exploding anymore, but radiating quietly, deeply, like the warmth of a stone that has been lying under the sun all day. A neutron star feels like the sleeping heart of a forgotten god. Everything inside is compressed so tightly that atoms have no space left between them. A single teaspoon of its matter could weigh as much as a mountain. This contrast between such smallness and such unimaginable strength creates a beauty unlike any other. A beauty of density, of silence, of rebirth in the dark. But the story does not end there. Because among neutron stars, some begin to spin, not slowly, like Earth or the Moon, but with breathtaking speed. Dozens, hundreds, even thousands of rotations every second. Each rotation sends a beam of light shooting out from the star's poles, spiraling into space like twin swirling lanterns. These stars are called pulsars. Imagine yourself standing on a beach at night, facing a lighthouse. Each time its beam sweeps across the shore, everything brightens for a moment, then fades again. The rhythm is steady, calming, comforting. Pulsars are like those lighthouses. But instead of resting on land, they drift through the ocean of cosmic darkness, spinning endlessly, sending out pulses like distant calls, steady as the heartbeat of the universe. In that stillness of space, imagine you could see each pulse of light. A tiny spot flares up, round, gentle, soft, then it vanishes, then appears again. Every beat as steady as the breathing of a sleeping creature. Some pulsars spin so fast that each of their pulses feels like a stream of light softly tapping on the sky. Tick, tick, tick. Each flash is a message, sent from a place thousands of light years away from you. Yet when you listen with your mind, it feels as if it's only a few breaths away. If you listen even more deeply, you may feel that rhythm begin to blend with the rhythm of your own body, your heartbeat, your breathing, the flow of your thoughts. Pulsars are not just physical objects. They are like the small drums of the universe, playing simple yet mesmerizing beats. Their rhythm is so steady that astronomers can use it to measure time and study the structure of space, and it is so consistent that it can guide you into an almost meditative state, a quiet peace where everything becomes a gentle repetition. Let your imagination bring you closer to a pulsar, not so close that you feel afraid, but just close enough to sense that its light is not the sharp light of a flare, but the soft light of a soul speaking quietly to the dark. You see a tiny point of light spinning so fast that it becomes a faint circle. Each time it turns toward you, a thin beam of light, delicate as a thread, brushes against you. Light as a soft touch on your shoulder, a gentle squeeze. Then it moves on. Pulsars are born from the most violent explosions in the universe, yet what they bring is not chaos but rhythm. Not destruction, but steadiness. Not an explosion, but a lullaby. Some pulsars lie within the remnants of their parent star's explosion. Outside are swirling bands of purple, red, and blue gas, like ribbons being blown open. Inside is a bright, spinning jewel that never stops. Together they look like a slow dance between destruction and rebirth, between ending and beginning. A scene so profound that even the small human mind has to pause and listen. If you let your thoughts drift a little further, you may feel that the journey of each star never truly ends. When a star explodes and falls apart, it does not vanish. It simply changes form, changes the way it appears. From blazing light to compressed pearl to steady pulses. A cycle with no final stop, only transitions. Just as everything in life moves gently from one phase into another. And at the end of this part, when the heartbeat of the pulsar has merged with your breath, when everything has slowed and softened, you may clearly sense that the universe is in no hurry. Even its most explosive moments lead back to stillness, to rhythm, to breath. In that small silence, we begin to prepare for the next chapter. One stranger, stronger, where magnetic fields and quiet energies give rise to forces so intense that even light must turn its head to look. Now, let the gentle pulses of the pulsars keep walking beside you. As the steady heartbeat of the pulsars slowly fades into silence, you may feel as if all of space has just taken a deep breath. Those flickering lights retreat into the distance like slow footsteps leaving a vast hall, leaving behind a soft echo. In that layer of stillness, something is waiting for you. A presence more powerful, more hidden, that does not blaze like stellar torches and does not tap rhythms like pulsars. It lives on the boundary between light and darkness, between calm and absolute power. And then, slowly, like a velvet curtain being drawn aside, it appears. Magnetars, the silent sorcerers of the universe. If a neutron star is the remaining heart of an exploded star, then a magnetar is that same heart awakened with a strange, rare power not all stars possess. They are special neutron stars, holding magnetic fields so strong they almost escape any human frame of reference. Try imagining this. If you placed a magnetar at the distance of the moon, its magnetic field alone could erase all data in electronic devices on Earth. That is the intensity you cannot see with your eyes, but you can feel with your imagination when you let yourself sink into this story. Picture a magnetar as an old sorcerer standing in the night, cloaked in a robe woven from invisible lines of energy. Even though you can't see the threads, you can sense the way they wrap around, twist together, and form spirals so powerful they can bend light itself. This isn't mystical magic, but the reality of physics. Yet the feeling it brings is just like watching an ancient ritual, where every movement has the power to curve space. Sometimes, a magnetar hides deep in the dark, giving off no obvious signs of its strength, no bright glow, no constant signal. But in rare moments, it erupts, like a sudden slash of light tearing open the night sky, powerful enough to last only 1,000th of a second, yet leaving traces for years. These bursts happen when the magnetic field inside the magnetar twists, snaps, and releases energy. Imagine that in the thick darkness of the cosmos, a vast bell suddenly rings. Not a sound your ears can hear, but a shock wave traveling through space, strong enough to shake even light itself. You might imagine this event like a string pulled too tight on a musical instrument, suddenly snapping. But instead of a small room, the vibration occurs inside the universe itself. A magnetar does not shine continuously like a normal star. Its light is not gentle and steady. It appears as sharp bursts, brief, brilliant flashes that fade back into darkness, as if nothing ever happened. These beams are like the quick strokes of a sorcerer's hand, and in that instant the entire cosmic stage glows, then falls silent again. If you close your eyes, you might picture faint lines of light, curved, silky streams slowly turning around a small, bright point at the center. Each line is a powerful magnetic field line, bending space, twisting anything that passes by, drawing it into an invisible dance. The magnetic field of a magnetar is 1,000 trillion times stronger than Earth's. It is so intense that it can reshape the atoms that wander past, as if even matter itself must bow before its quiet strength. And yet, despite such overwhelming power, magnetars do not feel frightening. Instead, they resemble characters from a cosmic fairy tale. Solitary beings who live quietly in the dark, revealing themselves only in rare, necessary moments. Because those moments are so scarce, each time a magnetar flares, the universe seems to pause and listen. You might imagine it like this. In an endless sea of night, where there is no wind, no sound, nothing but deep emptiness, a gigantic bell suddenly resounds. Not a clear, ringing chime, but a low, wide vibration, spreading across space like ripples on water. That wave never touches your skin, but it reaches your thoughts, reminding you that even in its vastness, the universe has moments when it seems to speak to itself. When a magnetar erupts, in that tiny fraction of a second, it can become brighter than the entire galaxy that holds it. But only for an instant. Then, everything returns to quiet, as if that flash of light was just an unintentional whisper, a brief shiver in the sleep of an ancient universe. If you look closely, you'll see that the journey from neutron star to pulsar to magnetar is like a chain of transformations of the same stellar soul, from explosive light to steady rhythm to surreal magnetic power. All share one essence: change. Nothing in the universe truly stands still. Even the things that seem most unchanging are quietly shifting. Now, as you lie here, your breath slowing, your imagination softening with each line of the story, you may feel a gentle stillness settling over you. The power of the magnetar is not here to make you tremble. It is here to remind you that even in the deepest darkness, there are things that shine in their own secret way. And once that feeling has wrapped around you, we step into the next part of the journey, where distorted stars spinning fast, melting in storms of fire, appear like strange dancers in a dark cosmic ballet. But before we go there, let yourself rest for one more soft breath. As the invisible bell of the magnetar fades into the distance, you may feel the space around you slowly widening, like a calm lake after the last ripple has disappeared. This stillness is not an empty void, but a pause in the great symphony of the universe. A quiet beat needed so that new notes can emerge, delicate and unexpected. And then, from deeper within the dark, other movements begin to rise, not the steady pulse of pulsars, nor the hidden hum of magnetars, but something lighter, softer, almost like a dance of light turning in slow circles. If the previous part led you into the realm of absolute power, then now the universe gently opens another page, the page of strange stars. Beings with imperfect shapes, spinning so fast that their own bodies are stretched and distorted by their speed. They are like dancers in the night, always in motion, never fully still. Imagine a star spinning so quickly that its equator bulges outward, swelling so the whole star looks like a spinning disk of light, thin at the poles, wide in the middle. The light it emits is swept along with its rotation, forming fine trails like rings of light in some ancient celebration. If you could stand in front of such a star, you would feel its light not only shining outward, but sliding past you, circling around you, as if your whole body were being drawn into a very slow, very gentle whirl of brightness. Stars like these spin so fast that the matter on their surface is pulled, stretched, slipping outward, forming streams of gas that swirl upward like hot springs releasing steam. And yet, even at such extremes, enough to bend light, their motion does not become violent chaos. Instead, their movement has a soft beauty, like ribbons drifting in a night breeze. There are other stars that may not spin fast enough to distort their entire shape, but carry imbalance within. Layers of gas inside them move, like rivers of fire, not flowing in one direction, but swirling, pushing, folding around one another, forming enormous storms of flame. Even so, these storms, where superheated matter erupts millions of kilometers high, unfold in a strangely slow manner. No explosive roar, no wild chaos as we might imagine, only vast loops of light rotating steadily, like a slow ballet of fire in the dark of space. These flame storms can last for hundreds or thousands of years, with each whirl the size of a planet. Yet their rhythm remains steady, like the breathing of an ancient being. When the light from these storms finally reaches human eyes, it does not feel violent. Instead, it feels like candlelight, flickering in a quiet evening, reminding us of motions that last longer than any human lifetime. And then there are stars whose strangeness lies in their very structure. Layers of matter stretched, compressed, then expelled into streams of light like molten rivers flowing from a mountaintop. Even in those motions, the universe keeps its soft gravity of calm, as if every oddity has its place, its own reason for being, without noise, without disturbing the greater peace. Some stranger stars choose to remain close to one another, orbiting each other in a shared dance. Each orbit is like two lanterns spinning in the night, their lights blending into large, slow circles. Sometimes they move close enough that matter spills from one star into the other, as if they are exchanging breaths. And in that exchange, a dance of fire is created, slow, steady, deeply connected. There are even stars that eventually melt into one another. It sounds fierce, but from very far away, it looks like two rings of light gently drifting together, merging like two drops of water on a leaf. When they finally become one, the light brightens, then softens again, like a tiny sigh from the universe. Many others are distorted by their own gravity or by the fields of nearby objects. They become teardrop-shaped, oval or stretched like long eggs. Each form is a natural work of art, a stroke no painter could create, shaped over millions of years by invisible hands. Gravity, rotation, magnetic fields. And the most beautiful part is this: no matter how strange their shapes become, no matter how hot and molten their surfaces are, these stars still shine. They are not perfect, yet carry a very gentle kind of beauty. The light from these distorted stars is like that of paper lanterns in a festival, not too harsh, not too strong, just enough to make you want to keep looking a little longer, as if trying to understand the story held in each curve and contour. If you notice carefully, you'll see that this part of the journey feels very different from the beginning. From giant torches lighting entire galaxies, you pass through the steady beats of pulsars, then through the Magnetars and visible bells, and now you are standing among dancers of fire, stars that defy symmetry and perfection, yet glow with a softness entirely their own. When you watch them, you may feel that the imperfect things in this world are sometimes the most beautiful. The universe never demands that everything be perfectly round. It simply allows them to exist, to spin, to shine in their own way. And as that thought quietly spreads out, like a thin ribbon of light sliding along the edge of a flattened star, turning beneath a distant horizon, we can continue our journey to meet the lonely travelers. The stars flung out of their galaxies, the wandering souls drifting through endless space. But before we go there, take one more slow breath and let the light of these strange stars sink into your imagination, like a soft glowing point inside the dream that is slowly approaching. As the last crooked starlight fades behind you, you may feel the space in front of you becoming wider, quieter, as if the universe were opening a new door, a region of sky with fewer structures, fewer movements, yet filled with stories of deep, quiet solitude. It's like leaving a crowded festival and stepping into an empty street, where suddenly you can hear your own footsteps more clearly, your own breathing more fully, and even the empty spaces around you more distinctly. It is in this emptiness that the most special characters of our journey begin to appear. If the stars you've met before were spinning dancers, magnetic sorcerers, gentle disks of fire, then the stars in this region are completely different in nature. They belong nowhere. Rogue stars, or wandering stars, are those that no longer reside within the galaxies where they were born. They are thrown out by collisions, by the intense gravity of supermassive black holes, or by invisible shoves from stellar explosions, and from then on, they just drift, drifting forever in the silent dark. Imagine you see one of these stars, a small point of light moving very slowly, quietly, like a solitary boat on a night ocean. No galaxy to cling to, no star system to travel with. It carries with it the story of the place where it was born, like a traveler carrying the scent of home on their clothes, even after going very far away. These wandering stars can travel for billions of years without touching anything at all. They have only themselves, their own light, and the memory of a home in some distant place. And strangely, no matter how lonely they are, they keep burning softly. Not because anyone is watching, not to light the way for someone else. They burn because that is their nature, like tireless hearts that keep beating without needing to be noticed. If you listen deeply enough, you might feel a quiet resonance. Each of us has had moments where we felt like we were drifting through a vast space, not belonging to any crowd, not truly connected to what is around us. And just like those wandering stars, we keep living, keep shining in our own way, even when no one has to witness it. But not every story here is about solitary footsteps. When we go deeper into the shadows of the early universe, another chapter of history gently appears. A chapter that doesn't belong to loneliness, but to the very first things. Before galaxies existed, before the huge red stars, before everything you see in the sky, there were the first generation of stars. They were the giant candles lit in the dark room of the young universe. If you imagine the universe as a vast chamber, completely pitch black, then those first stars are the very first flames someone struck in the night, turning the formless dark into a place with edges and shapes. These stars were larger than any star you know today. They lived briefly, fiercely, shining so brightly that their light could pierce the thick clouds of gas that once covered the early universe. But they were fragile too, because the very first beauties are often the shortest lived. When those stars exploded, they left behind the first elements that would build galaxies, planets, water, and eventually the foundation for life itself. And do you know the most wondrous part? A part of your body, of your eyes, of your heartbeat? All of it carries traces of those very first stars. Stars that no one can see anymore, but that are still living through you every single day. as if their light never truly vanished. It simply chose a different form in which to exist. This is the place where lonely travelers float through infinite darkness, and where colossal candles opened the very first dawn for all things. These stories, separated by billions of years, are still tied together by a thin but unbreakable thread. The thread of continuity. In the wandering star, we see perseverance in solitude. In the first stars, we see beginnings in the dark, and both are essential parts of the universe you lie beneath every night. The bull. So if you ever feel like you are drifting, like you are out of orbit, remember that the very things that seem to be off course are what make the universe rich. And if you've ever felt like the first one in something, remember that every beginning needs darkness in order to glow. Now, as you take one more soft breath, let the stories of these travelers drift through your mind like a thin breeze. Because in the next part, we will meet the stars that are growing old, the souls that have almost completed their journey and are preparing to step into the final act of the universe's long play. As the story of the lonely traveler slowly sinks into silence, you may feel the space around you deepen by one gentle beat, as if the entire universe were quietly changing tone. The roaming stars have finished telling their tales of drifting and endurance, of stray light that does not go out, and as that light dims behind you, the path ahead opens into another region of sky, peaceful, slow, and profound, like the last breath of someone who has walked through many seasons of sun and wind. This is where the old stars live. No more violent storms of fire, no more roaring stellar winds, no more collisions that shake entire regions of space. Only settling, slowness, return. If the journey of a star could be compared to the life of a human, then this part is the twilight of the cosmos. The moment when nothing burns fiercely anymore, but glows gently like a cup of tea still warm between your hands. You might picture an old star like an elder, sitting on a porch, watching the world with a gentle gaze. No longer in a hurry, no longer burdened. Its light isn't as bright as in its youth, but it carries a quiet depth that only time can give. Stars like these often end their lives by shrinking. As their outer layers are slowly blown away by soft stellar winds, what remains pulls itself inward into a small core, very small, yet impossibly dense. That core is a white dwarf. Imagine walking through a dark space, and in the middle of that darkness lies a softly glowing stone. Its light doesn't strike your eyes like fierce flames, doesn't cut through the dark like the beams of a pulsar. It simply rests there, emitting a faint, persistent glow, like a final breath that is weak but unwavering. A white dwarf truly is like a glowing stone in the heart of the night. Tiny, silent, yet beautiful in its own way. It is what remains after a star's long life has ended. It is the chapter that life chooses to write, not with fire, but with luminous ash. If you grow still just a little more, you may recognize something in that gentle beauty that feels very much like the last quiet hour of a human day, when night begins to cover every corner of the house, when the lights of the city soften, and when your own heart starts to slow as if it wants to breathe in time with the peace outside. But no matter how lovely a white dwarf may be, it cannot hold its light forever. Its glow will fade over billions, even trillions of years, so slowly that no one can truly imagine the exact moment it will finally go dark. And when it does, it becomes what astronomers call a black dwarf, a completely cooled star, no longer shining, wrapped in absolute silence. The curious thing is, at this moment, in our entire universe, not a single black dwarf exists. Because the universe is still far too young. Even the oldest stars have not lived long enough to cool down that much. The idea of black dwarfs is a chapter still closed in the great book of the cosmos. A chapter no being will live long enough to see opened. That realization may awaken a very special feeling in you. The universe is not only vast, it is also very, very young. Everything we see, all stars, all galaxies, all light, are only the opening pages of a story that will stretch on beyond imagination. And you, right now, are lying beneath one of its earliest chapters. As you drift through the sky of old stars, you might feel as if you are walking through a cosmic museum. Each white dwarf is a statue. Each cloud of gas it has left behind is like a great oil painting being gently dusted by the wind. Every soft glow is a final whisper before darkness fully embraces it. And strangely, the final moments of these stars are not sad at all. They are like watching a sunset. The light fades, but in that fading, its beauty becomes most intense. The stars in this last chapter no longer strain to shine, no longer fight gravity, no longer struggle to maintain nuclear fire. They simply let themselves drift. Just as you let your body sink into the bed after a long, exhausting day. The aging of a star, in a way, is the art of letting go. Letting go of outer layers, letting go of heat, letting go of light, letting go of the lifelong struggle to burn. And in that release, a peaceful beauty appears. So gentle, so fine, yet so deep, that you can't help but want to linger and look a little longer. Right now, as your breath slows by one more soft beat, you may realize that the journey of the stars is not so different from the journey of human beings. There are bright times, chaotic times, lonely times, explosive times, and times when all you want is to rest for a long while. And in the end, everyone searches for a place where their light can grow quiet. Not vanish, just change form. As you drift toward the far edge of this region where the old stars are giving off their last light, you see in the distance a very slow, very orderly movement, like the gentle breathing of the universe itself. It is the sign of the next chapter. A chapter no longer about the endings of stars, but about how the universe always knows how to create the new from what seems to have disappeared. And if you are ready, we will step together into the next part of this journey, into a place where old remnants are reborn as new shapes of light. As we leave the sky of the aging stars, where the last glows are still whispering in the dark, you may feel as though you've just walked through a great doorway, quiet and full of reverence. Behind it rest the souls of suns that have finished their paths. But before you, another curtain is slowly drawing back, so wide it seems to have no end. If the realm of old stars was like the final room of a silent museum, then the sky you're about to enter is like a living gallery, where everything is moving so slowly, the human eye can barely tell. But if you let your mind soften, like a still, unbroken surface of water, you will sense these movements, delicate, small, but endless. From where you stand in this imagined universe, the sky stretches out like a vast cloth woven from the combined light of millions of stars. But that cloth is not still. It is always changing, always shifting in ways that humans can only witness over many generations. The constellations you see each night are not fixed images. They are only temporary moments in a dance that lasts millions of years. Imagine looking at the sky as if you were gazing at a painting reflected on water. Each star is a point of light, each constellation a soft line. But with time, those lines drift, as if the water's surface were slowly moving. The constellations will not keep their shapes forever. The Big Dipper, Oriana, Cygnus, all will eventually change positions, stretching, shrinking, tilting, like patterns printed on a silk scarf being carried along by a gentle wind. At the star's current speeds, only a few tens of thousands of years from now, the map of the sky as humans know it will look completely strange. Yet this change is never sudden. It is so slow that you could sleep an entire lifetime without noticing any shift at all. And that slowness brings a deep sense of peace. The sky above us is at once as solid as an ancient roof and as fluid as a dream that is always drifting. As you drift deeper into this scene, the starlight around you begins to bend in strange ways, so unusual and yet so beautiful that it takes your breath away. This is where phenomena like gravitational lensing appear. It may sound complicated, but in truth, you only need to imagine something very simple. Think of a calm, flat mirror of water. When you tilt that mirror just a little, the reflection inside starts to warp softly, gently, as if it's being stretched or curved. Starlight in the universe behaves in a similar way. When light travels through regions of space that are curved by gravity, it becomes soft, like a wet ribbon of silk, stretching and bending along invisible curves in space. The result is that you see arcs of light, silver smiles, thin streaks glowing in midair suspended across the night sky. Works of art the universe has not made with hands, but with its very structure, as if a silent artist were drawing on the heavens using only gravity. When you let your mind float along with these distortions, you might remember the stories that human ancestors once told about the sky thousands of years ago. They had no telescopes, no satellites, no scientific data, but they looked up at the night and saw pathways, signals, signs. They read the sky like a book and listened to it like listening to an old teacher. The stars guided them across oceans. The constellations helped them find their way through deep forests. Gentle movements in the sky told them about seasons, about weather, about changes that sometimes only the heart could truly understand. And the beautiful thing is, the sky has never really been still. It is always drifting, but drifting so slowly that humans could use it as a compass for thousands of years. It feels as though there is a great friend above us, vast and steady, yet always changing slightly with each breath. You may picture the sky now as a vast cloth woven from light. This cloth is not pulled tight, it sags slightly, as if resting on invisible currents. The light on that cloth shifts little by little like chalk dust gliding over paper, forming patterns that slowly change with time. Every constellation, every line and shape is rewriting itself, so slowly that only the universe has enough patience to see the whole process. And when you soften your gaze or simply close your eyes, you may feel that sky like a dream. Not the brief dream of one human night, but the endless dream of the universe itself. That dream flows softly like a night river. No noise, no rush, only a steady, deep, gentle movement. Even when light is bent by gravity, even as constellations drift, even as time stretches across millions of years, the sky still holds something deeply human, a sense of familiarity, a feeling that no matter how things change, you still know how to look up and recognize where you are in this world. And right there, as you stand in the middle of this great motion, among constellations busy rewriting their shapes, you begin to realize something quiet and tender. If the sky can change and still keep its beauty, then people, too, can change without losing their deeper essence. As you let that thought echo inside you, the sky above suddenly feels softer, wider, and closer, as if the entire universe were breathing with you, as if time itself were slowing down so you could feel each of its gentle movements. And as that moving fabric of light slowly parts, you see ahead of you a final chapter, a chapter not only about the stars, but about you, a chapter where every ray of light, every speck of dust, every story of the cosmos comes together to lull you into sleep. If you're ready, we will step into this last part, where the universe is no longer out there, but resting quietly in each of your breaths. And as that drifting tapestry of sky, the one you just watched gliding softly like a long, unending dream, closes behind you, something strange and lovely happens. It's not that the sky is moving away from you. It's that you are stepping deeper into it. As though, after witnessing all these shifting paintings of light, your heart has grown softer. Soft enough to hear the things the universe usually speaks in a language without sound. And as you stand on the threshold between a drifting galaxy and the stillness at the center of your being, you suddenly realize you were never separate from the sky. You were never truly standing beneath it. From the very beginning, you have always been inside it, like a tiny, shimmering dust mote floating in an endless sea of light. Let that feeling spread just a little more, until it gently wraps around the last remaining thoughts wandering in your mind. The stars you just heard about, the blazing red giants, the floodlights that outshine whole galaxies, the pulsars sending out steady beats of light, the magnetars like quiet sorcerers of the dark. All of these are not only stories of distant objects. They are also stories of you, because every smallest atom in your body, the carbon in your cells, the oxygen in each breath, the calcium in your bones, the iron in your blood, was born in the hearts of stars that exploded long before Earth existed. Those stars, somewhere in the ancient universe, ended their lives in explosions so bright they tore open the darkness. From that glowing dust, their matter flew outward, gathered, wandered for millions of years until it met, and met again, and slowly, quietly, became you. It sounds like a fairy tale, and yet it is one of the most steadfast truths of science. You, a human being, breathing softly in the dark of your room, are the continuation of huge fires that once lit up a corner of the galaxy. And if you tilt your inner ear very gently, you might almost hear the distant heartbeat of those stars. Not with your ears, but with a feeling, a faint, quiet vibration in your own chest. Imagine, right now, you are lying in a tiny boat, floating along the river of light that is the Milky Way. This boat has no oars, because it doesn't need to go fast or far. It simply drifts, smooth as a single breath. The sky arches high above you in a great curve, like the open arms of the universe holding you close. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to search for anything. You don't have to figure anything out. You simply lie there, like a small point of light, quiet and complete. And when you breathe in, imagine gathering in a whole region of sky. Light from the farthest stars flows into you like cool water. When you breathe out, you give back to space a soft glow of your own. In this way, your breathing becomes a bridge between your small body and the endless universe. Slowly, that breath becomes a current you don't need to control. It moves on its own, like the spin of galaxies, like the beats of pulsars, like the ancient call of long-gone stars. Every movement within you is slowing down now, slowing like light crossing the farthest dark, slowing like time circling an old star, slowing like the breathing of someone about to fall into their deepest sleep. And as your last thoughts begin to soften, dissolving like a streak of light fading into the night, let yourself hear tonight's final lullaby. A lullaby that doesn't need you to answer, doesn't need you to remember, just wants to settle over you gently, like snow falling into the dark. While the stars are still shining somewhere far away, you are shining too, in your own way. You don't have to be brilliant. You don't have to dazzle. You only have to exist, quietly, and enough. Let your eyes close like two windows leading into your own private galaxy. Let your body grow heavy, like a star finally resting after millions of years of burning. And let your mind drift, very slowly, drift into the deepest silence of the night. Because tonight, right now, you are not just someone listening to a story about the universe. You are part of the story. You are stardust going home. You are light growing gentle. You are the universe, whispering softly to itself. And now, may you sleep deeply, like the stars asleep in the endless arms of the sky.